Hey guys, how you doing? Let us do it. Okay, casual. Let's start into it. Perfect. Hey guys, how you doing? Let's do it to it. Hey. I almost got him. Yeah, I think it's lost. I'm not sure. Let me see. Where did I go awry here? So, I missed that. Didn't even see it. Moved too fast. We gotta do another one. No, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but no, thank you. Hey. Boom. I'll do one more. Oh, the advanced variation, okay. Actually, I'm just gonna play there. Knight d7. We're almost there. We're getting to the limit. Yes, we are. Take it to the limit, and we're gonna be victorious. Let's see here. Do the break, baby. Do the break. Do the break now, baby. Do the break. I'm gonna go in for bishop to h5, and we got a really good game then. Wham, bishop h5. And now he's in a world of hurt. A world of hurt. Let's see, do I want to take with the rook? Rotates. Check. I play bishop takes. And then check. Anchor point there, and we're gonna win some material. Some more pawns are gonna bite the dust. Threatening mate. If he wants to draw, it's not gonna happen. I'm winning. He can't leave this diagonal here, because if he ever leaves the diagonal, boom, his mate. Oh, thank you very much. That was a really good victory. A victory. I believe, yeah, that's actually my idea. My next idea is if he goes there, and you just bring the pieces back and reroute in, trade off your pieces, and you win. Okay, we will get right back into this. We will get into our London system now, guys, and we'll get started. Let's do it to it. Six. This is the London system versus the, hey, this is the London system versus the King's Indian. And then at this point, this move, knight f(d)(7) is actually one of the most hardest ones to be met for white in the London system. So you have to remember that when you're playing. If you're thinking about bringing which knight to bring to d2, remember the knight f(d)(7), or not d2, knight f(d)(7) is the move. And so that's kind of what you have to remember, because what you're going to do, you don't want to clog. This is not a good spot for the knight, since, yeah, see, because if you play here, you can actually play c5 and then knight to c6, which kind of looks very familiar to a Tarrasch variation, but the pawns would be like that. Or sorry, our pawns would be like that. And then he would have something like our. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Hold on, let me flip the board. Let's see. Okay, Tarrasch variation. So it'd be yeah, here, and then here. Yeah, that's about right. Yep. Just wanted to make sure I had the Tarrasch in my mind correct. Yep. It was the. This is kind of like a Tarrasch. Okay, this is mainly played though on ICC chess. There's a lot of blitz players who use this. It's actually a really good one against the London. So knight fd7 if you ever get in kind of an English opening like that. Let me see here. So g5. Oh, we're doing chess, guys, so we gotta keep chess in our thoughts. Let's see. Am I doing that? Hold on. Oh, okay. Missed a couple. There. He retreats back to h2. Knight c6. Bishop e2. f5. Castles. g5 and yeah, there we go here. G5. This is the more critical position for white, where white we're facing the king's. When white's facing the king's Indian, black doesn't want to get bogged down in a maneuvering game, and attempts to blow white out of the water. Blow it out of the water. Oh, hold on. Yeah. By trying to exploit the slightly weakened king side position h3 here. So g5 and g4 is the idea, to take advantage of h3. Otherwise he's going to have to maneuver, black's going to have to maneuver the pieces around. And so that's kind of the whole entire thing is black wants to go for a brutal attack. So you have to remember that if if you don't really want to go for a maneuver as black, you kind of got to be a little forceful, as they say. Now you understand why knight fd7 is a good idea. It unleashes for the queen to guard g5 for black. Then g4 can be played. We got to stay focused on chess. No, it's not. Chess is really different. It's more powerful for sure. Yeah, you have to. It's thinking, as they say, a thinking person's game. So if you learn tactics, openings, and stuff like that, you'll get better in chess. You know what? Just hang in there. We're going over games, so you can watch and enjoy. Just hang in there, enjoy. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, the world's leading author on the King's Indian is Radjabov. Radjabov. That's his name. He's a grandmaster, and he does the King's Indian. He really likes the King's Indian. Okay, let's see here. So this is an idea. If black doesn't play g5, you can go, and let's say he plays king to h5. You can actually play, he plays bishop, what is it, d5? Then let me make sure I have this right. This move is handy for black for two reasons. Oh. Okay, I gotcha. I see what you're saying. Okay. Rook to c1. I had to look at my notes. g5. D takes c. D takes e. D takes e. And there's a dubious move was played in the game. It's actually knight d5. This doesn't have really any play. What you have to do is keep that in mind. Like, we'll go back. There's another secondary line after this main line, and we'll go back over that secondary line. So queen to e7, rook fd1, knight c5. It's going. Oh, it's not b5. What am I doing? Knight c5. Wham! Exclaim. Let's see here. Let me make sure we got this right. Let me see here. Here, c5. Oh. If knight takes g5, this is a double question mark blunder. b4 exclaim. Knight b4. queen d2, question mark, which is a mistake. To make sure, let's see. And then queen takes g5, and black wins. So there's, I had to make sure I have my notes all sorted out, right? c5, okay, there, alright, there. Yeah. Okay, now there's a secondary line. Let's see, let me make sure I have this. Okay, go back to move 13. Knight d5, if for white is an exclam. So this is the better of the moves. Maybe the best move, and then if knight to b6, queen b3, g4, h takes, f takes, and then knight d2, e6, bishop e6, attacks, rook c to d1, exclam, because it looks like, oh no, you're giving up a pawn. No, we're not giving up a pawn. Knight c4. And if he takes here, we can take there. Now do you see the idea of hold on, what did I move c to d1? Good. Okay, I'm on move 19. Perfect. h5, f3, there's plenty of what he's saying is there's plenty of compensation for the pawn. White loses a pawn, but look how much compensation he has. He has tons of an attack coming down the road. So much to gain for sure. Now we will go right back to the main line variation. Okay, c takes, or d takes e. The principal counter the center when attacking. When somebody's attacking on the wing, you counter in the center. You have to always remember that. A bad idea for white would have actually been d4. This would have been a question mark, because remember, when your opponent's attacking on the flank or the side of the board, you attack on the wing. I mean center, not wing, center. C to b8. And this gets an exclam mark, because now all of white's attack is gone because of d5. So let's see here. Yeah, and black will be faster on the king side than white, and will be then black will be faster on the wing than white on the queen side. So on the king side, black's going to attack on the king side, white's going to attack on the queen side. So there's takes, actually takes. This is the best move for black, but there is a subline that's an interesting, it's a dubious move. Don't play this line, but you have to know it because it may arise in your game. D takes e5 is a mistake. You don't want to play d takes because of knight to d5 check, which is an exclam mark, because it's now double attacking 3 times. Also the queen's activated. You don't want to do that. So king h8, knight takes, d takes, rook f, d1. So now we're doubling up. We have full control over the d file. Queen e7, and then b5. Now, and this gets a sclam because our idea is to implant the knight to d5 and then go after the weak pawns. It cements our position. Or we could go rook d5. There's a whole bunch of pieces that can be placed. The position looks unclear, and we prefer white in this play. And I'm not afraid of getting checkmate on the king side. There's enough material that's available to stop that. You have a bishop here, you have a bishop here, a queen here, and then anytime a rook can come in this way and protect as well. So you're good to go. So he takes there, and then we play. It's an interesting move. There's another interesting move. The move that during the time of this book, the strongest engine was Fritz. So Fritz, he said, likes the move queen to b3. It's an interesting move. It's a different type of interesting move rather than the check. Fritz likes it because it maintains basically the pressure and a discovery to boot. So if you're attacking on the queen side, this locks down white, black's chance of expansion on the queen side. So that was one line, but the move that was played was queen to d5 check, king h8, and then rook a d1. And this right here is an interesting move. It gets an exclam. The f rook retains its post now to watch over. This rook watches over f2, and so the a to d8 rook now comes into its max effect as well. Now it's pinning the queen, and this rook is really strong. So all the pieces are now in the fight for black. So we're good. We're really good. So he plays e4. There's also, you can move in with the idea of, if you're wanting for going for full brute force attack, h5, knight d2, because this is coming down the attack, and so you want to get your knight out of there so that there's a bishop and two bishops. So everything, this is a pretty massive attack that black's pushing down the road, as I would say, pushing down the pike. And it's a big attack. So now what we're trying to do is get all of our pieces ready to the queen side. We have enough with our bishops, our two bishops, and our queen to hold this this wing attack off. So what we're trying to do is activate our knights, get them to better locations. Okay, dookie. Let's see what we got here. e4, d5, knight takes, and pawn takes. Both sides have pawn majorities. White has a pawn majority on the queen side, and black has a pawn majority on the king side. So it's who can get their pawn majority flowing down the board faster. c6 to kind of stunt a little bit of white. White goes, don't think so. Queen to d6. Queen e8. There's also a potential rook to f6 trying to aim for the queen. Queen c7 to trade off queens. Queen e8 to keep the queens on the board, and rook fe1, which now if this gets pushed, we can always implant a knight, and our rooks now is on an open file to attack the queen as well. So we're doing pretty good. White, I prefer white here. So there's a queen d8, and then rook f e1. and then there's f6. But there's also, if you want to kind of try to stifle white's queenside play, there's knight to b6, d5. Black's like, don't think so. e4 or e3, bishop f1. So that if takes, the king will take back, and then we'll have an attack on the queen. f4, because we're not gonna fall for that trick. F takes e. F takes e. Oh, f3. G takes f, and then rook takes f3. D takes c6. B takes c6, and then knight d. Let's see here. Oh, c5, attacking the knight. Knight d7, and then queen takes c3 or c6 with a nasty double attack there. Rook e2 or e3. Rook takes e3. Queen takes e3 check, and king h1. The rook on a8 is trapped, and so it's gonna fall, and white's king is safe. It's funny, it looks like, what are you talking about? Can't the king be attacked? No. It's really interesting. There's no real attack routes, because that's covered, that's covered, that's covered. If he wants to play here, by all means do, but then we win the rook. The rook can't move, so we're kicking it up a notch, as I like to say. So EF, and then he says, this is what the author said. I went through Fischer's games when I was a kid. That struck me. Was his defensive genius. I discovered his secret with the center. With a one-track mind, with your opponent launches an attack on the king side, you have to focus on the center. This is what he says. He studied Fischer's games deeply. I discovered his secret. Centralization, with a person who basically attacks on the queen side. Are on either side, king side or queen side. You attack in the center, and then you have them start reacting to your idea, and then they lose their attack. That's cool. So he studied Fischer's games and found out kind of that. So let's see, e6, d5, bishop d7. So. And we're just getting everything ready, sealing up the weaknesses, so that if this gets played, or if there's any trades along here, you know, like any sacrifices, this bishop's in its proper spot for defense. d8, bishop d, takes, and then takes. That was a mistake. A dubious exchange. Our after the correct queen to b4, which is what we looked at. I was looking at that. c7, bishop c7, c takes d. Let me see, c takes d, b6, f3, queen g6. It's trying to power through his attack. It takes. Bishop takes f6. Queen takes f6. Knight takes the e pawn. We're attacking the queen. Queen f4. And then g3. Exclam. Because if you notice, we're attacking the queen. The queen has to run. Where does the queen run to? e5. So what do we play? e6. Black doesn't have any compensation for the loss of his pawn, but white does with his his d6 pawn holds black down for any attack. All of black's attacks gone. Remember when he had that massive pawn chain? Wham, all this, boom, boom, boom. It's all been stifled, and now it's white with a pawn up and almost a passer. So it's not doing too good for black. So f4, queen c7, bishop f5, queen takes, and then d7. Black can't enter on the second rank, but it's really nice. It would be really pleasant idea if he could play this, but he can't enter to the second rank. That's a mistake here, because when the queen takes the pawn, this would actually be a blunder. This would actually be a double question, because you're leaving the defense of your king. Then knight takes e4 with another exclam mark. It's like, whoa, it's like, really? And this wins for white on the spot, because what really can black do? He can't do anything. If he takes, then you take the rook. And so you have to keep that in mind when you're playing. Make sure that the points of entry that you're doing is correct. Otherwise, what'll happen is you'll get stifled. Queen c6, g4, knight takes, and h takes g4, knight takes g4, and then f3. Let me see, where did okay. The critical line with g takes would be to threaten, sorry, I have to remember, queen to h5 with a checkmate on h2. So f6, f3 actually does something really important. It attacks the knight. This is kind of a forced move. The critical move which saves white from a looming mate is f3. It looks crazy, like, what are you doing? You're opening up your king. You have to. This is kind of a forced move. Otherwise, it's mate. So bishop takes d4, rook takes d4, and then he takes with a this is actually a mistake. Yeah, we're doing good. That's the whole thing about learning. What you have to remember here is instead of taking, there's actually two lines that black can go down, and this is the start for black. There's actually two moves before this, then there's sublines. I'll show you. Knight to e5. You gotta be patient sometimes. Step back for a second, and then make sure that the move that you're playing isn't, weakening your position. And remember, black's king is really open to the world, really, really open. So you don't want to allow this to be opened as well. Rook to e8. It would be a problem for black. So let's see, there, c5, rook g7. So now we're getting a pin, so that'd be a pain in the drain. Rook e takes e4, and now if knight takes f, which would be a full-time mistake. You're thinking, wait a second, doesn't this make you fall apart? No. Your king moves, the bishop takes, and then rook takes Now we're attacking the queen, and we're attacking the knight. Yeah, it is the King's Indian for sure. For sure, for sure. So there, it takes, rook takes. Okay, knight e5. And then, let me see, did I knight e5? Yeah, overloads black's piece. It's like, really? Whoa, look at that. And the piece is overloaded. So that was the first line in that setup. Now we're going to go to line B, which is move 30. Is it for white? Oh no, it's for black. You're thinking, what would happen if right away bishop takes rook is actually the best move. Hey. Yep, it's the London system versus the King's Indian. This is how white handles the London system. It's from Play the London System book. And we're just going over sublines because it's fun to go over on the boards and do this. You have to continue to keep pushing forward with your studies. Okay, rook takes. Now we pin the knight, so this is not looking too lovely for black, to say the least. Okay, then king to f2, I believe. Let me see, do we have all that? Yeah. White has two healthy pawns for the exchange and stands better, although black is by no means lost. So here, white has two healthy pawns. He's got one passer and he's got two outside pass pawns. So in theory, if these pawns get traded off, these get traded. Let me see, how would we do that? Here. Well, we'd have to keep our pieces on the board, let's just say, because you wouldn't want to trade down, you'd lose. But we have two healthy pawns in that line, black, and so we're good to go on that. Let's see here, F, okay, knight 29. Okay, H2. Black banks on the power of his pawns to create a mating threat on H6. His whole goal is trying to create a mating threat on H6. He just doesn't have time to implement his idea. There's just not enough time. King to F1. Rook takes. F takes. So we've won the pawn. Rook attacks the queen. The bishop on F. And the queen just gently floats back. Queen to C4. Says, you can try to, but you're not going to. I have enough pieces defending. Rook D6. The threat is to mate on H6 right now. He's trying, he's like, I'm going to, by all means, get H6. And white's like, I don't think so. Queen D4, check. And then he's like, king moves, we take the pawn with the rook, and we don't mind even if we lose the exchange like that. We're still up. So the whole idea is to make it to the end to win. So we have to keep that in mind. It's not about material. White was a lot of material up. White's more than happy to sacrifice a piece to keep his position alive. So you kind of gotta not be materialistic and see he has a queen. So this is queens will tear apart these rooks if they're not coordinated. The queen loves to fork pieces, fork them, and so they can fork them easily with that. Okay, in summary, this is what happens. We talked about this move all the way back here. Be well prepared against rook FD7 line. It is black's most dangerous basically option against the King's Indian versus the London system, or the London system versus the King's Indian, vice versa. It's the most dangerous line. So just keep that in mind. Go over this if you have like the King's Indian played on you. If you do the London, go over this one, number 8, and get it mastered, because it's gonna make a big difference in your play. If an opponent plays, or if you're black and you're playing against the London system, you'll know what to play to shell shock your opponent. Okay, we'll get into some puzzles now, and I will leave you with this. I'll be right back. So put in the box down here what your moves are about this, and we'll go over them. And we're back. Okay, how you guys doing? Perfect. Okay, let's get on this here. Okay. So rook takes. What did it take? Okay, it took a pawn. Let's see here. I think we win a piece if I'm not mistaken with bishop takes our pawn at least. Bishop takes g6. If f takes g6, f takes g6, queen takes g6 check. If bishop g7, we play queen takes e6 check, and that forks the rook. Forks the rook on c4. Fork on c4. It would be this move here. Here. There. Queen takes. Interpose takes. King moves. And then we come and grab the rook. Boom. But now we have to take in consideration, okay, bishop takes g6, right? F takes g6, g6, queen takes g6, and then you have perpetual with king to h8. You may have a perpet with king h8. We may play maybe rook after the king moves to h8. We may play rook d3. So let me put this in. Copy. I have another idea to add to that. A rook d3 with a threat of mate on rook h3 with rook mate on rook h3. With a potential mate on h3 coming sliding on over. So this is the other line here. There, here, and then rook h3, and then we slide on over. Yeah, let's go for it. The other most critical line is actually king h8 and then rook to h d3 should be curtains for black, I believe. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah. And then rook slides over. Okay, so we did good. Good job, guys. Good work. We solved all the lines. Sometimes. Let's see. Sometimes we play here. Sometimes we could play here. I was thinking out loud there for a second. We could play knight takes. Sometimes white may play knight c6. That's an interesting idea. That attacks the queen. What's his main threat, though? There's always a counter move here. There's something that he's making us give up. What are we giving up here? Is there a better move? Is there a better move? Excuse me. Is there a better move? that much better. Trying to see what the only thing I see that leaves behind is knight takes, knight on c6, but what could he respond to that with? Maybe queen d7. Probably queen d7. So if knight takes f6 or c6, queen d7, and he holds, I believe he holds in that line. What am I missing? We would accomplish nothing because the line would go here, here. Oh, sorry. Here, 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 there. And I guess we could come back and grab that pawn. And then he takes there, and we gain one pawn, but is that enough? Do we gain enough from that one pawn? The only problem I was looking at that, so oh sorry, here, there. He could take with the knight, and I think we're down a pawn in that line. Well, I guess we could, yeah. I see what you're saying. If he did take there, yeah, that makes sense. We just retreat our knight out. Well, if he takes with the pawn, do we lose? So, okay, let's see here. There. But if he takes with the pawn this time, he does the discovery on the knight. And he's still attacking our knight there. So he's attacking two pieces. So that has to be the first move. Boy, this is interesting setup for sure. What are we missing here? B5. But the only problem with B5 is that he could take. What happens then? Because the knight then is guarding. At that point, this knight here guards this point as well. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking that maybe we just play knight takes bishop. Oh. Okay, that makes sense. Wow. That was kind of... Oh, wow. Yeah. So you're countering an attack with an attack. Yeah, and then you just retreat your knight back. Wow. Wow. Cool. That's an interesting one. I'll give it a thumbs up. That was truly interesting for sure. Good job, economy. But we forgot to do the term. Always take the material. Remember that's our phrase when the computer gives it to us. We always take the material. I love that phrase. Always take the material. Okay. I'm thinking knight. That is true. Oh, that's funny. That is funny for sure. I'm thinking knight. Hey Fox, how you doing? I'm thinking knight to d5. This removes the. This attacks the pinned piece. Not much. I'm thinking this is my line. Knight d5. If rook d8, knight takes e3, and if rook takes e3, we play knight, not rook takes e3, rook takes d1, my bad. Knight takes d1, and we come out a whole piece up. Or an exchange up at that point. Whole rook. What do you think, Fox? So rook d5, queen c5, queen e1, and then a5. Oops, sorry, queen e1, a5. That's interesting, to say the least. That backfires for sure. So maybe we threaten bishop takes d6. B takes. Oh, makes sense. Yeah. See, do we missing anything there? No. Nope, we're good. Just wanted to just make sure I didn't miss anything. Good, I know you guys worked it out. We'll give that a thumbs up. Come on. We'll give it a thumbs up. Yeah, you were right on that, for sure. Okay, we have three moves. We have three moves we could play. We have king a1, king c1, king takes b2. Those are the three moves we can play. And we have to look at we have to make sure that each one is good. If they're good or not, which one I mean. Let's see here. So we take, okay, let's, yeah, for sure. Okay, if we take care, he checks. Okay. So we must have to go to king. Is it king a1? I don't believe there's any more checks at that point. King. See, the only problem with king c1, Fox, is you have a he has a check. He can continue his attack, and then he draws you out in the open. And one thing you don't want to do is be drawn out in the open. If you go to a1, king to a1, there's no checks. There's no way he can get to you. The queen barricades d4. The pawn, as Jeremy Silman would say, is the problem. The d4 pawn. We would love. The bishop would say to the d4 pawn, "Please move," and the d4 pawn says, "No, the Majesty told me to stay here," and the otherwise it would be perfect. Oh, true. Oh, true. So I was. Oh yeah, that does. Okay. Yeah. Then he has mate, does he? We have to. We'll lose our queen. So yeah. So I was. Yep. Okay. So king c1. Queen grabs a2. So king c1. Queen takes a2. King b2. Bishop b4 check, and then king. I guess we run. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, yeah, this is a mistake, guys, because of here. Huh. Yeah. So it would work, but it isn't as strong as the other line. Yeah. I just wanted to see if the line actually worked. Yeah. So I don't feel so bad. It actually does work, but you'd have to sacrifice some material back. Okay. Let's see, what do we got here? What do we got? What do we got? Okay, dokie. I'm thinking bishop e3. We're threatening to pick up the rook. Double attack, so that if the rook comes back, actually if the rook goes back, so let's say queen e3, rook goes all the way back to b8, we could play rook takes c6, and we're attacking. And I believe but I'm not sure if we win anything in that line. Let's try to see, are we missing anything anywhere? I don't see anything. Yeah. Oh. 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 I wonder why. Oops. That was a mouse slip. Oh, okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's kick this up a notch. Okay, dokie. No, it was my fault too. So, I should have looked at that too. That looked more at the threat than the execution. It's not your fault at all. Let me see here. So knight takes. Yeah, it isn't strong enough. So knight f5. Huh. Yeah, that does make sense, doesn't it? With there. Yeah, I like that idea. And then we pick up the bishop at the end, I believe. Am I missing anything? Nope. Nice combo. Let's see if we play king takes bishop. So king takes h7. That's right. We'll just calculate this out because we are going to take the material. That's funny. Check, and I think we go king to g6 if I'm not mistaken. We take here, we take there, knight comes here, and then we run up the board. And if he tries checking, we just go F5 and we're operation safe. Oh no, you're joking me. Oh, is it because we can just move it? Ah. Can't believe I walked. That was a mistake. That's the reason. I forgot about there's a mating setup here. That was my fault. I didn't even consider this. Yeah, that it doesn't work. He just moves back, move the rook over, and then we just move our king out. Sorry guys, that was my fault. I moved too fast. Should have thought of the lines. We'll get it back, don't worry. Don't worry. It does, but we gotta always remember, you want to play the most solid line, and the idea, like what you're saying, Fox, does work. It's not that it doesn't work. It's just not the best. Let me see here. That's what I was thinking about. Rook c2. Do we accomplish enough from that, though? Well, we do, because if he moves the queen back, we grab that. When the king takes, then we play bishop takes. The queen grabs. Yeah, yep. That's. Oh, you're kidding me. Don't tell me not that again. I do. Oh, C2. If he takes, we take. Let's see. Let's see here. I can move there. Take there. And check. He comes. Okay, to draw. Okay, you're threatening mate, so he has to take. Ah. Okay, let's get this one, guys. Hey, how you doing? So I'm looking at. He does have that, so that we're just gonna move our king to G1, and if he castles, we just pick up the bishop. The rook slides over and takes. The rook takes, knight takes, then king takes, and we won a whole piece in that line. I'm thinking bishop to d5. What do you think, Fox? I'm going to give you guys a second to take a quick look, but see if this is the move. What do you guys think? Queen, bishop d5? Huh? Bishop d5. Yeah, I know it does, but we gotta make sure because I might be missing some. The only problem with rook e1 is the knight guards. The knight guards e1. So my line may go knight. Let's sorry, bishop d5. If knight f e f2 check, then we play king g1 for castles. Bishop takes a8, rook takes a8, rook takes f2, knight takes f2, and then king takes f2. And we come out a whole exchange ahead. We come out a bishop. It'd be a rook versus a bishop. Actually, two pieces. So let's give her a go. Yeah, there we go. You guys got any questions on the puzzle? We'll do one more and then we'll log off. Gotta log off after this one here. Let's do it to it. Okay guys, take a look at this puzzle and we will solve this one. We'll get this one. 853 times. Okay, that means this puzzle's pretty new, so we'll get some good points if it's newer. Hopefully they'll reward us with higher value points. Let me see here. So I'm thinking bishop takes e8. There's queen d4 check, and then king to a3, and then bishop takes f8, and I'm not sure if we get close to getting checkmated on that line. I'm not sure if we get mated there. I'm a little curious if potentially maybe bishop, no, maybe bishop c4, and then we're threatening mate on. Yeah, exactly. So I'm reconsidering bishop c4. I'm trying to take a look at bishop c4 with the threat of bishop to d5 mate, with bishop to d5 mate idea. Or maybe bishop to maybe bishop b4, maybe bishop b5, maybe bishop b5. It's one of those. I'm thinking it's either bishop to c4 or bishop to b5, because we're threatening at that point a checkmate on either it's either that one or that. We're threatening two checkmates, because this bishop guards here, and then this bishop would guard, would attack, and there'd be no flight square. So I'm wondering if bishop b5 isn't the move. See, okay, bishop b5, queen, d4 check, king a3, and I don't think he's got anything after that. We got him. So I'm thinking, I believe it's this line here. This is the line. I believe that's the line. I'm pretty sure on that. Well, then you can, well, at that point, couldn't you just attack the, so B, there, huh. Maybe C4 at that point. Maybe C4 at this point. Maybe C4 after that line. We're down material though, so we're not wanting to win material. We've sacrificed so much. We have to go for a knockout. See, we're down to a piece. We're down 2 exchanges, actually a rook and an exchange. So if we get a piece back, huh. Makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense now. Okay, then we take the rook at this point, huh? So queen c4, queen f3, and then bishop takes. No, we don't want to take. My bad. Don't do that. Don't take. Whatever you do. No, we don't want to take. That's too greedy. Too greedy. Let me see. What do we want to put? What do we want to play there? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, wait a second. Well, no, we do take. Duh. We can actually take. Yes, that does work. That does. That's funny. He can't take back, otherwise it would be a mate. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. This does work. And, because if he plays bishop takes, we back rank mate him. Yeah. And then we grab the bishop. Okay, perfect. Alright, we'll call it a day on that. Great find, Economy. Great job. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions on this line? Okay. I'll take that as a nope. Okay. Well, guys, I gotta tell you, we did good. Great job, Economy. Great job, Fox. You know what? We learned a lot. Two stones, but a whole bunch of diamonds came out of that. So we gotta continue to remember, like Bruce Lee said, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. We also have to teach our hands to war and our fingers to fight. That's a big thing as well. Remember, learn from your mistakes so you're not doomed to repeat them. And always keep moving forward like in Meet the Robinsons. And remember that there's always a drawback in the position. You just have to find it. And when you do, like Hannibal Smith said, we love it when a plan comes together. Well, guys, continue to keep studying chess. You're doing great. We're getting there, one step at a time. We're getting stronger. Okay. Remember, as Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, guys, and I'll be back on, Lord willing. St. Louis, the St. Louis chess cups going on with Magnus, Fabi, Shaq, Nakamura, MVL, let me see. Oh, Karyakin, Anon. I think, am I missing anybody? I don't think so. I might be missing one. Gruschek. And so the 10 strongest players at this moment of our day in chess are playing. Okay, so guys, be blessed. If you want to watch it, it's on tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye, guys.